The film begins with a man giving a presentation. Suddenly he collapses and passes away.
Let me...
It turns out he's not the only one. Out there, many people also die unexpectedly, all at once. We then see flocks of birds flying frantically and acting out of control, damaging the areas around them. Everyone nearby starts running in fear. Time passes, and we meet the main character of this film, Dr. Josh Keyes, who works as a scientist and professor. While he's teaching, a military team arrives, urgently needing his expertise. They also bring in Dr. Serge, a specialist with top-level government connections, who has likewise been summoned by the military. Both are taken to a secret facility to autopsy the victims of this mysterious tragedy. There, they meet a general who wants them to figure out what is causing these deaths. Using their knowledge, this general suspects the incident might be caused by an enemy attack employing a powerful electromagnetic weapon. But who could own a device of such magnitude? After careful thought, Keyes grows suspicious that the source might be the Earth's electromagnetic field, specifically something going wrong at the planet's core. Time passes, and the movie cuts to 3 astronauts, Commander Robert Iverson, a co-pilot named Major Rebecca, and a third crew member, who are about to land their space shuttle on Earth. As they enter the Earth's atmosphere, they lose control and veer off course. Thanks to Iverson's quick thinking and Beck's alertness, they manage to land in a river, almost colliding with nearby structures. Although it's hardly the smooth landing they had hoped for, they survive. Then we are introduced to another researcher, Dr. Zimsky, a renowned specialist in electromagnetic wave theories. Keyes informs Zimsky that the Earth is headed for destruction within a year, if nothing is done. Initially, Zimsky doesn't believe him, but ultimately he comes around and retrieves a secret notebook that could help them investigate further. Meanwhile, in a bustling city, an unexpected aurora lights up the sky, captivating everyone who sees it. The general and Zimsky call in Keyes, who is in a rather inebriated state, to attend an urgent meeting so he can explain Earth's current condition. There, Keyes clarifies that the invisible electromagnetic field encircling our planet has ceased rotating. This field protects us from solar storms, lethal blends of radioactive particles and microwaves. Without the protection of that shield, the sun would essentially cook the planet. According to Zimsky, Earth has only 3 months left. They devise a plan to drill into the Earth's core, about 2,000 miles down and 1,000 miles thick, even though humanity's deepest drill so far has only reached 7 miles. Many doubt that anyone can possibly get there, but Zimsky insists there is a way. Soon after, a scientist named Braz introduces a laser-based device for penetrating Earth's core. The craft they plan to use for this mission is constructed from an alloy called unobtainium, which absorbs heat and pressure and converts both into energy. In theory, the hotter it gets, the stronger the craft becomes. However, building this vehicle requires a staggering $15 billion. The general expedites Braz's request so the vessel can be completed as quickly as possible. We then meet someone adept at hacking computer systems, Theodore Donald Rat Finch. Though he's initially wary of anyone knocking on his door, he is asked to join the effort to manage internet communications and keep the mission confidential from the public. Rat agrees, on the condition that he be allowed a certain supply tapes and limited amounts of hot pockets, requests to which the general simply consents. In due course, Keyes is introduced to Rebecca, who will also take part in the journey to Earth's center. We see the ship's construction. Before departure, the recruits destined to descend into the core run through simulations to get accustomed to the intense physical pressures they'll face. They number 6 in total: Braz, Serge, Rebecca, Dr. Zimsky, Commander Iverson, and Dr. Keyes. Initially, they doubt it's possible to reach the core because the simulator tests keep failing. But at last, they succeed. Next, we observe the effects of a failing electromagnetic field. Bizarre cloud formations and thousands of lightning bolts strike Rome, an event that's unlike anything witnessed before. The group then readies itself for departure toward Earth's core, launching the craft from the deepest place on the planet, the Mariana Trench. Yet the launch doesn't go smoothly. An unexpected geological event triggers powerful oceanic turbulence. As they escape the whirlpool, they surge ahead at high speed, activating the ship's systems before breaking through the ocean floor. Once beyond the seabed, they proceed on their journey deeper into the Earth, heading relentlessly toward its center. They traverse Earth's outer layers, although they're unable to see outside directly, as any camera or external device would melt. All images must be read indirectly. At one point, they detect an unfamiliar terrain that Dr. Zimski cannot identify. Keyes studies it closely and concludes it's a massive open space. The crew braces for impact as the craft plunges from a considerable height, landing on a mysterious surface. 4 of them exit wearing protective suits to determine where they've ended up. Suddenly, they realize this area is filled with giant crystals. If brought to the surface, they'd be worth a fortune. Unknowingly, they damage part of the planetary layer, causing a violent reaction that imperils them. With no time to spare, the group rushes back to the ship, but Commander Iverson is struck by a large crystal shard to the head. With no way to save him, the others are forced to leave him behind. They press on, but a giant fragment hits the craft, damaging one compartment. It must be detached before the damage spreads. They scramble to relocate. However, Serge is determined to retrieve a special notebook containing his child's important notes that he left behind in the compromised compartment. Though he manages to grab it, Serge cannot return in time. The door seals, and he is trapped in the doomed module. Heartbroken, the others must continue without him. Reaching the Earth's core at last, they prepare to detonate nuclear weapons. But they discover the core is larger than they had calculated, and the bombs they've brought are insufficient to jumpstart the rotation. Dr. Zimski laments that there's no chance of success and proposes returning to the surface. He suggests the General activate Project Destiny, a covert program conceived by Zimski and the military, an electromagnetic weapon capable of triggering earthquakes in targeted regions. Unbeknownst to most, they've already tested it in secret. Arguments ensue among the crew. Zimski demands they give up. Braz reacts strongly, even striking Zimski. Though tensions run high, they decide to press on. On the surface, Earth's atmosphere can no longer shield against solar radiation, leading to devastation in many major cities. Braz and Keyes scramble for a solution, brainstorming how to sequence their insufficient nuclear payload in such a way that it might restore the planetary spin. In the end, Zimski also contributes ideas, agreeing to help finalize the plan. Meanwhile, Project Destiny is about to be activated topside, but Rat, determined to stop it, exerts every effort to ensure it's never launched. Below, the crew's plan is to detonate the nukes by separating the craft's compartments, placing bombs into each module. However, someone must physically open the locks in those sealed segments. Braz volunteers to release the module door from within an area so hot he has to wear a protective suit. After unlocking the compartment, Braz remains trapped inside and loses his life. Zimski and Keyes maneuver to deploy the remaining warheads, but just before they are released, turbulence violently shakes the vessel. A nuclear warhead falls onto Keyes' leg, pinning him. After some time, the turbulence strikes again, causing the object to shift and now trapping Zimski's leg as well. Zimski insists Keyes leave him behind, forcing him to urge Keyes and Rebecca to escape while they still can. Zimski ultimately cannot be freed and perishes in the compartment. At this point, Keyes and Rebecca have to figure out how to exit the planet's interior. The chain reaction from the nuclear blasts disables the craft's lasers and its propulsion screws, leaving them initially hopeless. Keyes, however, devises a plan to use the craft's panels like solar collectors for generating enough power to operate the ship's drive. They wait for the final explosions to create a push that will send them on a path out of the Earth's core. Their mission to rekindle the electromagnetic field works. The core resumes spinning. But their voyage back to the surface is far from over. The vessel emerges in an undersea region 800 feet deep, presumably somewhere near Hawaii, with no immediate rescue in sight. The craft's signal is gone, and unobtainium simply absorbs heat, providing little help. Keyes and Rebecca accept that they're stuck at the bottom of the ocean and activate a sonic beacon. In parallel, we see Rat, the hacker, informing the general about a whale-like sonar signature that repeats in the water. The signal is eventually detected by a search team. Before long, a submarine picks up an unusual ping at 800 feet below the surface, and Keyes and Rebecca are rescued. They are the only survivors of the mission. Sometime later, with his hacking prowess, Rat reveals the heroic story of these 6 brave individuals to every media outlet worldwide, exposing how they risked their lives to save the planet. And so the film concludes. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.